What's up, CineNerds? I'm GP Cross,
And I'm Ryan Newhouse. Welcome to 2026.
and today we're going to give you our top five and a lot more, I'm sure, most anticipated
hmm
films of 2026. Because this is a massive year for films. Just on what we know about, not even the unknown indie films that we don't have a clue about yet. This will be coming out throughout the year. That always happens as well.
Yeah, I mean, we just have the list to go off of for what the already announced are, but there's always some of those weird ones that come out of nowhere.
Um,
Excuse me.
CineNerdsPodcast.com. You can always check us out there. Our Spotify links, our Apple Podcast links, our YouTube links. All those little links are in there. There's shops. We got posters for sale there. You can click and order signed posters from us directly from that CineNerdsPodcast.com.
And they're in limited supply. I just want to put that out there because it's the first time we've ever done that.
So get them, please.
Get them.
Take them.
Get them. All
All right.
right.
So
So the
last
whole,
week, go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say the same thing you were just going to. Last week I started it off. So this week
Yeah.
JP's going to start us off.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and hop right into it. I mean, get this ball rolling because there's a lot of films we're going to probably talk about after we give our top five.
Without a doubt.
So I'm going to come in number five, and the thing is, this film I've not read much on this film, and I've not seen much on this film. I know it's rap production. I know there's been screenshots released. I know the casting obviously has been released on this film, but I have purposely been avoiding everything on this film outside of I know of one casting, and that is Masters of the Universe, He-Man, new He-Man live action. And I've been avoiding everything because I want to see a new He-Man movie. And so I'm throwing that out there right now, and I want to go into it blind. So,
That's fair. Now, I first of all, huge He-Man the Masters Universe fan. All versions of it, all just everything, all the way up the Dolph Lundgren version. I loved it all. This version so far, the screenshots that I've seen, because I've just seen screenshots, I am not thrilled with the look, and I really hope they're messing with us, and that's not what we're gonna get. Um, but who knows? Because even though the look looks more true to the cartoon, it's still I don't know, could be amazing. We'll see. It's on my honorable mentions, but I didn't put it in the top five.
yeah, I'm avoiding all those screenshots. I'm avoiding all of it, and I just because I want to go in, I want to go in blind, and I want to go have a good time. And my hopes is to come out fucking excited and not come out fucking completely let down. I love the Masters of the Universe cartoon we got over the past couple handful of years. I think was it Kevin Smith that worked on that.
There's two versions. There was two versions of it that came out,
Yeah,
and both of them were actually really good. But the Kevin
yeah,
Smith one was rad. I loved
yeah,
seeing they had Barbarian He-Man and Barbarian Skeletor in that, and they were spectacular.
yeah, yeah. And so I love that, and I love, like I said, I love the Dolph Lundgren film. I love the old original cartoon. I like that remake cartoon that came out in the early 2000s, early mid 2000s. I've been a He-Man fan since the 80s, since I was a kid. So I'm
You're,
just over the
are you
moon
talking
ready
about
for
the
this.
He-Man in space?
No, you're talking about the sequel series. I'm talking
Yeah,
about there's a reboot series where it was a He-Man series they did in the early 2000s, and the animate and we did one season and it got canceled because nobody was watching it, but it
I
was
think I know
so
what you're talking
good,
about.
and the animation was like more modern. It looked great. Like the animation was really good. And it sucks that it got canceled after one season because nobody was watching, because it was a damn good series.
All right. Well, that's a fair number five. My number five, I'm I love this film, and yes, it's a holiday film, so I was not expecting when I watched this initially to love it as much as I did. David Harbour in Violent Night was spectacular. So the sequel coming out next year or in 26 in December can only be, I'm hoping, more amazing. I loved Violent Night in many ways because it's not just your traditional ho 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 Santa, I'm here to save the day. It's a Norse pagan, battle ridden, scarred, damaged internally, externally, all versions of which Santa we get. He's an alcoholic facing depression. He meets this little girl in Violent Night in the first one, and she brings him back, and he saves her family, blah, blah, blah. You know the routine. But the sequel, I did not think we were going to get, is going to happen. It's on the list for the releases and should happen in December. So Violent Night 2 is my number 5.
And I'll be honest, I didn't realize they were doing a part two, so I was clueless on that one.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about that one. I have a lot of high hopes, so we'll see.
Okay, yeah, I'll be wanting to see that. That's that'll be pretty cool. I mean, I wasn't a big of a fan of that as you were, but I did really enjoy it. I mean, I had a lot of fun with that one. Really, I mean, the kills in it were great. I mean, the cast
Yeah, they
was
were.
cool. It was fun. It was a fun movie, start to finish.
I concur.
So my number four, and I'm sure this is on Ryan's list, and this might be further up on Ryan's list than mine. Mandalorian and Grogu, Star Wars. So I'll okay, guys, hear me out. Like I know it's a Star Wars film, and obviously, all the Star Wars tattoos I have, and you guys know how me and Ryan are. You would think that this would be probably my number one or number two, and I'm excited for it, but not that excited yet. I love the Mandalorian series, but I'm kind of ready for it to end. I'm ready to move on from Mando and Grogu, and so I'm hoping maybe they'll tie a lot of this up with this film, and that is my hopes. And let's move on to some more other Star Wars stuff. Let's bring more Ahsoka in. Let's
So
finish this stuff up. But I am super excited for Mando and Grogu. I mean, it's new Star Wars. I'm always going to be excited for new Star Wars.
it is. I will say it is on my list, and I've got a lot to say, and I'll say it when we get to that. But
Okay,
that's
we
yeah,
can we can talk we can talk a little bit more about that.
sure. All right. Well, my number 4. I have a lot of high hopes for this one. Hopefully, when we do the next year or the end of this year recap, this one ages much better than some of my previous anticipated ones did. But I'm going to go with 28 years later, The Bone Temple. And the reason why I have such high hopes for this film is because the 28 years later that we got wasn't bad. And I did like a lot of the throwbacks, a lot of the nods that were subtle little hints in there. I do like the Guy Ritchie gang at the end, as I call them. Um, but now I want to see where this all goes because I feel like that 28 years later was good, but it was incomplete, and I feel like the Bone Temple is what's going to complete that for us. I know JP is very traumatized and very saddened to hear there won't be dongs in this one because there was there's giant alpha zombie dongs in 28 years later, but they're taking those out of the sequel.
I'm just going to tell you right now, 28 years later is only an honorable mention on my list, and it's solely because there's no zombie dong.
I'm glad to see you coming to terms with yourself, JP. That's good. It's good that you can embrace yourself like this. Yeah.
Anything
So
else?
that no, I just have a lot of high hopes for this. I want to see where Ralph Fiennes goes. I want to see if the little kid. I want to see if his dad, played by what's his name, Taylor, um, if he comes out of the island and goes and hunts down his kid. I want to see what happened with that zombie baby they left on the doorstep. If that kid turns the community on the island, I don't know what's going to happen. And so there's a lot of things that could make this really, really be a high energy and high end film. But there's also a lot of question marks there. There's a lot of question marks in the air that could make this just kind of fall flat on its face. So we'll see. And and I'll say this. Supposedly, this is the one where we find everyone talked that they said Cillian Murphy's been cast. He's coming back. He's coming back. Supposedly, this is part that he will be in this part of the movie series.
Yeah, it'll probably be at the very end, like a brief cameo.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. I just didn't. I honestly did not include it on my top five because it burnt me last year. And yeah, it squeaked by on my top five. And I loved the 28 year. I love 28 years later, but it was from the thing is from 28 days later is one of my all time favorite films. And I comparing it to 28 days later, I was severely let down. So I did not include it in my top five for the sequel to 28 years later. So
And that's fair because honestly, there's some moments that are magical in 28 Days Later that just I don't think that you could. That cast was superb. The acting was superb. The way that everything transpired was just so good.
mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot to be desired when you see a movie like 28 Years Later. And you're happy to see the franchise continue, but at the same time, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
So there was,
it did not have the magic of Cillian Murphy and or even like Chris Eccleston. Chris Eccleston in that film was over the. He was just insane.
I
I mean,
I think the dad. I'm his name's. I'm drawing a blank. But the dad, when that scene where the droplet of blood hits him in the eye, I think that was just one of those untouchable moments in cinematic
mhm.
history that is just so great. Even the way he looks at his daughter and puts his hand up saying, "Stay back," all so good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just it's one of those films, and I had hopes, and I was let down when I compared it to the original, but it
Yeah,
didn't change that I didn't like the film.
for sure.
All right, so my number three, Scream 7.
Oh shit. I forgot
I'm
about that.
yeah, I'm excited for Scream 7. We've got Courtney Cox returning. We've got Sydney Prescott herself. I mean, I named my daughter Sydney after her. Um, so Sydney is coming back with Nev Campbell returning, and I've already choked Ryan up. My goodness.
Wrong pipe. Goddamn. Okay. Woo.
So yeah, Nev Campbell's returning. You know, I I hope I hope that we can. And you've heard me complain about Nev Campbell talking about some of the sequels with her that she's just going through the motions. I hope that since she's actually got left out of the film and is coming back now, I hope that she acts the fuck out of this part and knocks it out of the park. And so I'm super excited to see what she's going to do with returning as Sidney Prescott. So
So to ask that out of Nev Campbell is not a big reach, honestly, because she doesn't really have much depth beyond Sydney.
yeah,
Like I
no,
not to knock Nev Campbell, I mean, but this is definitely her not coming back sooner is shocking to me because she just doesn't. I just think this is one of those things where you're. It's like Mark Hamill. You're Luke Skywalker forever, bro. Like
yeah.
it's what it is. So if and I'm gonna make another Star Wars reference. If she Padme's this shit, I'm gonna be mad.
Oh yeah, if she Padme's this stuff, I'm gonna be fucking furious because she was left out of the last movie for reasons, and we've talked about how she just phones in Sydney in a lot of these films, and it's just half-assed there. I hope that she comes back and fucking proves me wrong, not just you know everybody else. I hope she proves me wrong, because I've bitched about it. Even as much as I enjoy the films, I have bitched about her. And I hate to do that because I named my daughter after her character because I loved her character in the first film so much. So I hope that she knocks this out of the park and blows me away and blows everybody away with what she does with this new Scream film.
I know it's going to happen for me. I'm going to get pissed off, and I'm going to want them to go back to what they should have, what they wanted to do originally. It was going to be Skeet Ulrich haunting his daughter and turning her into Ghostface, and I would have loved to see that transpire and become the way that this
Mm-hmm.
route went. It would have been far more entertaining than Sydney Prescott in a panic room, which is what I've gotten out of the trailer so far. Now that said, I will say this: I am greatly more concerned with how they will reintroduce Matthew Lillard because he's confirmed on this as well, and I want to see where he goes with this. So that'll be an interesting
Yeah.
pivot.
All right. It's your
All
number
right.
3.
So you're gonna laugh because this is not something I think anyone would see from me, but um, this year they're actually putting out a movie based off of the Netflix series, and I couldn't be more excited about it because I loved the Netflix series. Or it's not Netflix, I don't think specifically, but it's on Netflix. Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders: The Immortal Man is a movie coming to the theaters. It's gonna basically be the end cap and the end of everything with Peaky Blinders. And I really, really, really hope it's as brutal and dark as Peaky can get. I feel like for my Irish roots, this is definitely something I'm vested in, and I love seeing this transpire. A fictional approach at history is always good, and yeah, I just want to see where this goes and how he ends.
So I never watched Peaky Blinders. I know a lot of people's told me it's amazing. I need to watch it, but I've not watched it. So obviously, I'm probably not going to watch this film unless I just happen to decide, hey, I'm going to binge Peaky Blinders. So
Which is a very bingeable show. It's got some ups and downs, like any other thing where things slow down a little bit. But if you are a fan of solid, like kind of mafia style movies, you'll appreciate it. And I like the way that it dips and dives through even the European World War I and II era. It's just very impressive.
see, and that's why I've avoided it because I'm not big into like mob movies and stuff like that. So that's why I've kind of avoided. I like some of it, but gangster stuff I'm not real big into. There's been a few movies like I love The Gentleman, with Matthew McConaughey. I think that's a
Hmm.
great film. Um, Legend was okay. Um, and I like the old '90s movie Mobsters, with Richard Grieco and Christian Slater and Patrick Dempsey.
I'm
But when
Casino Untouchables guy all day.
but I was saying I'm not a big Goodfellas fan. I mean it's okay. I enjoyed Goodfellas. Um, I enjoyed My Blue Heaven way more than Goodfellas.
Freeze, are you there?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
here. I'm watching you shift your hat.
I am. I just noticed my hat's crooked. It's driving me insane. I gotta fix this. It's gonna. There we go. A little bit better. There we go. All is right. Well, what I will say about this is with Peaky Blinders, it's definitely a little bit different in the regard of. Did you ever watch Vikings?
I watched the first season, but that's as far as I watched.
So what pulls you into me with shows like Vikings and like this different fictionalized historical eras and everything, I get it, but you have essentially nobodies who build an empire and they come up from nothing. And I think that is something that most people dream about or hope for. And I think that when you see moments like that, and then you see people trying to capitalize or endanger their empire and the lengths they're willing to go to protect that empire, it just gets so good. There's something about it that's almost I don't know. It hits you at the heart. So I love Peaky Blinders, and I can't wait.
Oh man, we're already at my number 2, aren't we?
Hmm.
This one's not going to be a surprise to anybody as well. My number 2 is Ready or Not 2.
Oh, that's not what I was
I
expecting.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. I mean, we've reviewed Ready or Not, and I've talked about Samara Weaving. How I think that she is just fantastic in a lot of these roles that she takes, and I generally loved Ready or Not, and I think I even said I think it's one of the better horror films of the past 10 years. So to have this sequel coming, I'm ready for this sequel. Them bringing her sister in and going on a whole nother bonkers uh, cat and mouse, horror themed chase.
Which we find out in that trailer that that family was one of multiple families in the same
Mhm.
position. So
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see more where this what unfolds with this story of Ready or Not, and I'm ready to see Samara Weaving fuck shit up some more. Yeah, so yeah, this is my number two, and I'm super. I'm really psyched for Ready or Not Part Two, or I think it's called Ready or Not. Here we come, or something like that's what it's actually called.
Yeah, no, that trailer definitely pulled me in, and Ready or Not's one of those ones I had always put off, and JP made me watch it, and I've been a fan since I saw it the first time, and I'll keep enjoying this franchise as long as it keeps coming out with quality material. So I like it. All right, my number two, which I'm scared because I think this might be JP's number one, but we'll see. My number two is Supergirl. I definitely thought that the introduction of us getting the Supergirl in Superman and how she was spectacular. When the trailer dropped, I did get chills. My arm hair stood up. I was very pleased at seeing all of it kind of take shape a little bit. And even though it was like a tenth of a second, seeing Lobo for a minute with Jason Momoa finally in the role that he's actually meant to play, that one I kind of geeked out on. I really hope that because he's kind of a conflicted villain, so he's got moments of good things happening. So I wouldn't mind seeing a standalone Lobo movie at some point down the road, as long as it isn't cheesy as fuck and horrible like Aquaman was. So yeah, that's my number two. I'm pretty excited about that one.
Okay, so my number one. So my number one is Supergirl,
Ah,
and because Supergirl, James Gunn, DC Universe. I'm a DC fan, and so yeah, it's my number one most anticipated, and I am over the moon excited for this film. And I love Superman, I love Supergirl, and there's actually more DC that was on my honorable mentions that I'm, you know, really excited for as well. So um, again, I don't like Jason Momoa. We've talked about this in the past, but Lobo is a good character for Jason Momoa, much better than Aquaman. So getting him as Lobo, that's kind of tailor made for him, and I really like where they're going with this Supergirl, with her being a train wreck and going out and partying and being a party girl, and I'm here for this quirky version of Supergirl. I can't wait to see how this plays out, and I think it's going to be more of a space battle too, which makes it even more exciting
oh,
for me.
this is. I know. I don't. It's not being directed by Gunn, but he's overseeing, obviously. So, I think that what you're going to get is definitely a Guardians esque version of our Supergirl. And the cool thing too for me is like I don't want this cut loose wholesome version of Supergirl anyways. I want this darker version of Supergirl
Hmm.
because she has moments where in the comics she suffers and goes back and forth and she struggles with her identity because her whole purpose was to help nurture and raise Kal-El and Superman, and she's because of her course getting knocked off trajectory, she has no purpose. He's already a grown ass man and he doesn't need her, and so she kind of is figuring out who she is, what happened to Krypton. All these things are hitting her all at once, and she's handling it like any other young kid would, going through depression, acting out, rebelling, and so it's just going to be a great movie. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like I said, it's my number one for a reason, and just like Superman was my number one last year, Supergirl's my number one most anticipated film of this year.
You're predictable, you son of a bit. No, it's all right. My number one is very predictable as well. All right, as JP has already mentioned, my number one. Oh wait, are we at your number one?
I just did my number one,
Oh,
Supergirl.
yeah. I'm sorry. I just had a brain fart. Totally, my mouse went off the wheel. Sorry. Yes,
Stop.
mine.
Hey, kids, don't do drugs.
I'm gonna drink my H2O because that's all that's happening here. Anyways, Mandalorian and Grogu. Um, so as JP said, we have a lot to unpack with this movie. Hopefully, bringing closure to their story. I would have been content with another season, if I'm being honest, and then going into a movie. I don't know if Mandalorian and Grogu is the right title for this. I know they wanted to focus on the child because he's so marketable. That piece does bother me a little bit,
Mhm.
but that aside though, I'm curious to see where this goes, and I'm really hoping that they didn't put Grogu on there to make this more kid friendly or kid centric. I want to see a darker thing happen. I want to see, like, let's be real. What they did to Boba Fett was a travesty. They made him into a lovable man. He's not a lovable man. He is a mercenary, a Mandalorian, and he is, ruthless. And if he's got a job to do, he'll execute the job and make it happen. And they kind of took away from that and gave him a lot more heart, a lot more depth, which I was okay with, but a lot of the people weren't. And so we don't need that to happen. With Din Djarin, you've got the same shit happening, kind of. We're at that point where he's so caring about Grogu that there's a lot of different ways this could go, but there's also a really, really dark way this could go. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. And furthermore, I'll build on that more because there's still rumors circulating online, but Disney has not confirmed this, that they're going to retcon the sequel trilogy. If those rumors prove true, and we end up having to recast our heroes. You've already got Aldrich, who was already Han Solo, and he's aged just enough so that he could play a perfect Han Solo. You've got what's his face, Bucky is perfect.
Sebastian Stan.
Thank you. Never remember his name, but Sebastian Stan is definitely the perfect casting for Luke. I don't know who you'd cast as Leia, but I mean the options are there without CGI. And hell, even the actor they had stand in and the one episode that we got, the tunnel episode with Luke messing up the what the fuck were those? The Dark Troopers. When he's messing those up in the tunnel, like that CGI performance was one of the better ones I've seen Star Wars put out. So even if we did have to go that route, I'm not opposed to that. I just want to see quality content. I wouldn't mind seeing the Thrawn trilogy. I wouldn't mind seeing the Battle of the Yuzhong Vong, New Jedi Order. All these things matter. So I would like to see all that happen, and I wouldn't mind seeing Jaina and Jason put back into circulation. Ben Skywalker, Luke's son, all these people could be great futures of Star Wars. So I really hope whatever they do with Mandalorian and Grogu, if it is what's going to happen when they retcon that movie builds into what that will be. So I have high hopes in 26 that they will make that a formal announcement, and we'll get an amazing film.
And I'm excited for Mando and Grogu, and I hope we get to see a lot more Bo-Katan. I mean, and that is my hopes for the film because I love Bo-Katan. Um, but yeah, if they retcon it, you know, we're already, Dave Filoni's already supposedly working on the Thrawn for us, so he's already built into that within the Ahsoka series, and I think that's where his film, because Filoni's getting his own film, and I think that's where that's leading us is into Thrawn. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, we already have Thrawn cast because of Ahsoka, so that's well. Actually, let me rephrase. We have Thrawn cast because of Rebels.
Yeah,
So Thrawn being part and being canon is already half the battle, in my opinion, and I'm definitely excited to see where it goes. I think that however they choose to incorporate Thrawn, I'm excited. But if they go younger and the timeline works out, I'm not gonna lie, I would like a different actor as Thrawn.
yeah.
So I just don't think he was the right fit.
I mean, he voiced him great, but visually,
I still like Benedict Cumberbatch as that. I thought he would
me,
always be solid, but honestly, as long as you have somebody, or even what's his name, John Hamm, like anyone who's just got that presence about them and the demeanor in their voice, and I think that's we paint them blue, throw red contacts in, and call it a day.
yeah, I agree, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
What kind of honorable mentions do you got for your anticipations of 26?
Well, since we did not include any Marvel films in our top five, let's just go ahead and off the rip and talk about Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. That's coming at the end of the year.
So I have that and Spider-Man Brand New Day on my list for Marvel. So
And
Spider-Man
Spider-Man Brand New Day is on mine solely for my
because of the
favorite
Punisher.
comic book series ever. Favorite Marvel anything. The Punisher is in it.
John Barenthal absolutely crushes as the Punisher. There's no question about it. Um, and I definitely am excited to see where it goes, to see if they get dark in Spider-Man Brand New Day, because it's supposed to be more This one's supposed to be more street level, is my understanding. So they're trying to get back to brass roots here. They're trying to go back to like Kingpin, Daredevil, the streets of New York, where he's fighting crime and making it more real. So I think that that could be amazing, and I'm kind of excited about that. Low key, more excited than Doomsday. Doomsday, I'm excited, but it's going to be so much fucking shit happening that
Mhm.
I don't
Don't know
know
how
where
it's
they
going to
even
play
start.
out, and I'm
Yeah.
excited for the X-Men. We know we're getting some X-Men popping up in Doomsday, and that's what I'm excited for with Doomsday more than anything. They released the teaser with Steve Rogers returning. Don't care. I'm ready for X-Men. I've talked about this. We've said this. That's what I'm ready to see.
And I covered this on our best of 25, but the people freaking out about the Steve Rogers thing, that's just unnecessary. We're talking a multiverse scenario. It's why you're not seeing Tony Stark be Iron Man. You're seeing him as Doctor Doom. Multiverse. You're gonna have multiple versions and multiple, just like when you saw in Deadpool and Wolverine, you saw multiple versions of some characters that some made it, some didn't. We're gonna see this. This is gonna be like a Marvel battle royale multiverse. So it should be good.
Um, my next honorable mention, and it was my honorable mention last year because I thought it was coming out in 2025, but it's moved into 26. The Bride. I'm excited for The Bride with Christian Bale as Frankenstein and this new Bonnie and Clyde style Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein film. I'm really excited for this film, and I've been excited for this film for a while. So
So is the Bride not part of the new MonsterVerse?
I'm not sure what's happening with the MonsterVerse on what movies is going to be what. But I just know that this one is like a Bonnie and Clyde, more into modern times. It
Okay.
seems.
Yeah, from the stills I saw, it did look like that. So I am definitely intrigued, but I do like, as I said, my number one of 25 was Frankenstein, and yours, your number five. The way they're building that, I'm actually a fan of and here for. One of my honorable mentions, so I'll piggyback off yours, is Werewolf, which is weird for me because I don't like Home Slice who's directing it. I don't like any of his movies, and I can't get with him. But if it pans out anything close to Del Toro's Frankenstein, I'm on board.
Well, I'm just going to piggyback off of yours, and I'm going to go to my next anticipated film of 2026, and or honorable mention anticipated film. Brandon Fraser returning in the Mummy movie.
Is that listed? Is there a date on that? Because I didn't see that.
It's listed for 26, but it don't have an official date. But it's slated for 26.
All right. Well, I
So
mean,
we'll see. It may make it. It may not. So there's a couple that are supposed to come out in 26 that are in my honorable mentions that I've not seen official dates yet, and that is one of them. But if it does, I'm here for it. I love the Brandon Fraser Mummy film, so to have him come back and do a new one is I'm going to be really excited for that.
I hope that one is amazing, and I hope it crushes because I anything Brendan Fraser does, I'm a fan of. He's just a good, wholehearted person. I have not seen The Whale yet, but I've heard amazing things about that. But that said, though, I want that to give credence to more films. Like I would love to see Nick Cage return for National Treasure 3. I would love because I love those. I think they're so good.
I think that's been rumored as well for a while. So
All right. My next one, I'm going to throw in just two quickies because you already have mentioned these on your list, but Ready or Not 2 and Masters of the Universe are honorable mentions for me. Uh, I'm excited and scared for Masters of the Universe, so we'll see how that turns out. But Ready or Not 2, I feel like it's going to be amazing. So I'm super pumped about that.
um yes, I'm gonna pump two out real quick because one of them's questionable if it's coming out this year. I've not seen a date, but supposedly it's coming out this year. And then the other one is I'm really excited for. So the first one I don't know if it for sure, as I'm not seeing a date, is DC Universe Clayface. We're
Hmm.
supposed to be getting a Clayface movie
I have
this
that on
year.
my list as well.
So like I'm excited for a horror version of Clayface, because it's supposed to be a horror film, just like the
It's
Swamp Thing film is supposed to be.
it's supposed to be rated R. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for that, and so we're going to hop off of the horror version of Clayface, rated R version. We're going to go to another horror film I'm excited for. Mike Flanagan's version of The Exorcist. Exorcist Deceiver is supposed to be coming out this year with Mike Flanagan directing. Now, the last Exorcist movie, I hated. Fucking garbage. I was so mad about that movie. I left the theater angry at that film. And but when I heard Mike Flanagan is doing this new one, that made me excited because Mike Flanagan's not done anything that I have not loved. So him doing an Exorcist film kind of tracks, and I think he is one of the few directors I think that can pull off an Exorcist film.
We'll see. We'll see. If I'm being real, they need to just let The Exorcist be. There's been a couple of films lately that I saw that were unique takes on possession, but that I feel like it's so beaten down like that, and like zombie movies. Like I'm good, dude. I really I'll watch them because I'm gonna watch them because I'm a sucker for that stuff. But at the same time, just let it breathe. Let it breathe. Give it some
I
room.
mean, I'm gonna watch a Mike Flanagan movie just because Mike Flanagan did it. So it wouldn't matter if it was The Exorcist or what it was. I'm going to end up watching it anyway because he did it.
Didn't he do the series? Yeah, he did. He did the Haunting on Hill House and oh, he did that I didn't like Midnight Mass. He did that
Oh, I
too.
like Midnight Mass. And
I mean,
he did Follow the House of Usher. He did Doctor Sleep. And I love Doctor Sleep. God, I love Doctor Sleep.
so the Haunting on Hill House and the Fall of the House of Usher, I did like those two. The other one I did not care for. Bly Manor or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Midnight Mass is rough. I like Doctor Sleep. Uh oh, that makes sense. I didn't know he did Gerald's Game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you covered Clayface, so I've got a few others. So one of them, which I didn't think was going to be this year, but apparently it's going to happen in December, is the third installment of Dune. They're doing another Dune movie, so I'm pretty pumped about that because if I'm being real, like I love the original Dune, I really really do. But these two Dunes and then the prequel series, that they did on Max called Prophecy, um, superb. They're just great. I can put them on and watch them over and over just like I would a Star Wars movie, and I'm just blown away. I love it. They're engaging. I'm a fan. So really want to see what they do for this next installment. I want to see if it's now Paul Atreides as Emperor Atreides. I want to see where they're going to go with this, and I'm excited.
All right, I got two more, and I'm gonna be done. And I'm gonna say this because I didn't mention it in our 2025 episode. So, Strangers Chapter 3. So there's my honorable mention because I really enjoyed Strangers Chapter 2 that came out last year. So I'm pretty psyched for Chapter 3 because Chapter 2, if you watched it, it leaves you hanging at the end. So I'm interested to see where they go with Strangers Chapter 3. Also, Terrifier 4 comes out this year.
What?
Yeah.
Well, that would have changed everything on my list. I didn't know that was
What? You didn't know Terrifier 4 was coming
I
out
mean,
this year?
I knew they were working on it. I just didn't know a date or anything if it was when it was releasing. So I just
Yeah,
yeah.
it's supposed to be out late 26.
All right, new number one. There you go.
So Mandalorian Grogu is out.
No, everything just bumped down one. So we lost Violent Night 2. That falls off the end. Violent Night 2, honorable mention. Okay. Um, go ahead. I think you had another one too. Sorry.
No, I did Strangers
Oh,
Chapter 3 and Terrifier 4 because Art the Clown.
let's rewind. So, did you see Stranger Chapter 2?
I literally just did a whole conversation about this. Were you not listening?
I was, but I'm just saying, do I
Yeah.
watch that?
I literally just said, I was like, I didn't mention it in 2025 episode. I should have. Strangers Chapter 2, it leaves you hanging. And that made me really excited for Chapter 3 because I enjoyed Chapter
Yeah,
2 a
okay.
lot.
I did hear all that. I thought you went more in depth. Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, I haven't seen. I have again. This is another one I have that I have not watched yet, but that chapter 2 needs to be seen. So I'm gonna be
Yeah,
digging into that.
You'll enjoy it. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I
It,
honestly on my 3 tier list, it made it into one of my top fives on my 3 tier.
I think if I remember correctly, chapter 3 is coming out like first quarter of this year, right? It's like first 3 months.
I think it is pretty early. Yeah,
Maybe I'll hold off and watch part 2 before I go to C3. That'll feel a little bit better if there's a
and
cliffhanger.
and that's what I did. I actually watched Strangers Chapter 1. I waited until like right before I was going to go watch Chapter 2, and I finally watched Chapter 1, and I did not like Chapter 1 that really. It was not that good. But then I went to the theater and watched Chapter 2 because I thought the trailers looked really good, and I really enjoyed the fuck out of Chapter 2.
All right. Um, my last two are one of them. JP's not gonna be a fan of, but I am excited for this because I really enjoyed Evil Dead Rise. And I know a lot of people didn't. I'm one of the old school fans of Evil Dead 1 and 2 and Army of Darkness. I get it. But Evil Dead Rise is the next logical approach, in my opinion, for it spreading outward. And Evil Dead Burn, I think, is going to take it even further. So, Evil Dead Burn should be coming out this year, and it's going to be pretty amazing. I have high hopes for that one. My last one, this one, I don't know if it's going to be good, but god damn it, if the marketing Steven Spielberg hasn't done for it isn't intriguing. It's Steven Spielberg's movie Disclosure, and like there was random billboards that popped up with no context whatsoever, just everyone like, what the fuck is it, what's this? And then all of a sudden we get a trailer that drops out of nowhere about a couple weeks back at this time now. Um and that stuff, like, I'm watching this trailer, and I mean, there's so many different elements of an alien invasion coming out of this that I don't know what to think, and I'm kind of really intrigued, and I want to see where that goes too.
I still not seen this trailer, but I've heard about it, and it sounds interesting, for sure. So yeah, I'm kind of with you. And another
But
one, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but see, that's where I've fallen on my face too many times because of good marketing. So this, like, it's genius marketing the way they're putting it out there and giving you teases like they are, and just putting up billboards, and all of a sudden you're like, what is this? What's going on? It's genius, but I've fallen on my face before because it's all hyped, and then you get there and you're like, this is what we're getting hyped up for. Like,
Hmm.
so yeah.
Uh, and I didn't put this down because I just happened to think about it. Did you know that they're doing a spinoff, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood film?
Isn't it the once upon a time in cinema?
No, it's called The Adventures of The Adventures of Cliff. It actually
Ooh,
follows the Cliff character, Brad Pitt's character.
he's the best part of that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
perfect.
that actually, and that's supposed to come out this year as well. So that might actually be a little sleeper hit. You know.
I was kind of getting just dragged along in that movie, and it was just kind of okay. Then they get to the Manson Ranch and meet the kids and all that stuff, and it started getting kind of interesting. And then the whole scene at the end when the Manson kids do the break-ins in the Hollywood
Yeah.
Hills, and he's just like laughing and looking at him, and it is seriously amazing. Brad Pitt has these moments sometimes, like Fight Club. There's just those moments that just sit there, and he owns that character, and
Yeah.
you believe everything that's happening, and you're loving it.
I love Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
He's honestly one of my favorite actors, hands
yeah, I agree.
down. And like I have, I mean, you've seen my Voodoo account. I have a lot of Brad Pitt movies in my Voodoo account because he's fucking great.
One of my favorite things that he ever did was it Bob, when he's like over the dude in Fight Club and he's dripping the blood out of his mouth, and the guy's like, "You don't know where I've been, Bob. You don't know where I've been." And I was like, "That is amazing. That is gold right there."
I remember the first time I saw Brad Pitt on in any film, and it was actually his first film I saw first, which was the film Cutting Class. And I remember watching that film when I was young because it came out in late '80s, I think, maybe early '90s, but I think it was late '80s, and thinking, man, I love this movie, but I don't know who this guy is. But I actually remember thinking at a young age, like, this guy's gonna be a star. And then next thing you know, fucking Brad Pitt's all over everything. Even back then, like he just blew up. And And that was just on a little unknown horror film he did in the Midwest.
I mean, yeah, his career is insane, and his character in 12 Monkeys, like, just I don't know, he's just great.
All righty. Um, CineNerdsPodcast.com. Be sure to share this video. Share any, like I said, we've said before, if we post a flyer, please share it. It doesn't cost anything to share, but it helps us, helps our algorithm,
Immensely,
and
yeah.
it just helps us get more of a reach. Leave a comment in the regular comment section on this video if you're watching us on YouTube, and click like on this video. If you're listening to us on audio, leave a review, or come follow us on Facebook or on TikTok. I mean, we're posting on TikTok, or post us on. Make sure you just like, subscribe, do all that. I'm rambling, but do it all. Please help us continue to grow it and build it. CineNerdsPodcast.com, and there's a shop there.
I'm not, they know about the shop. I'm not going to talk about the shop today. I do want to piggyback off what you were just saying, though. I do want to say that, we have been privileged enough to continue this show now for 2 years, over 100 episodes. And that's all in part to you guys caring about, us having our opinions and listening and chiming in and giving your opinions too. So we've kind of all built this together. But the only way we can grow is all those things JP just rambled about. So it really does mean a lot that you guys are able to help and share and spread that word, because sharing literally is caring in this sense, because we want to see 26 do a lot more things, a lot more impressive things. We've got some things in the work. We've got some interviews. We've got some solid episodes that I think you guys are all going to dig and like. And you guys doing those things all helps. So I'll skip the merch speech this time, and I just hopefully you guys are liking and sharing and helping out. We appreciate you all.
Fire posters.
Oh, Jesus Christ. On that note, you guys, let's have an amazing 2026. Cheers.
All right. Later, guys.